In this video, I am going to explain the solution of linear programming problem using simplex method. Let's see one example. Solve the following LPP by simplex method. Maximize z equal to 6x1 plus 8x2 subject to the constraints 5x1 plus 10x2 is less than or equal to 60, 4x1 plus 4x2 is less than or equal to 40, x1 and x2 is greater than or equal to 0. The solution of the simplex method, the solution of the LPP by simplex method starts with making the given LPP into the standard form. The given LPP can be made into the standard form by removing the inequality sign. So in the given LPP, the two constants are given, both are having the less than or equal to type of signs. So these are removed by adding the variables into the left hand sides of the constants. So the first constant will be, after addition of the variable into the left hand side, s1. So the constant will be 5x1 plus 10x2 plus s1 equal to 60. Second constant will be 4x1 plus 4x2 plus s2. Here the variable s2 is added to make or to remove the inequality sign less than or equal to. So that is equal to 40. The non-negative constraints x1, x2, s1 and s2 are greater than or equal to 0. The variables s1 and s2 are called slack variables. The slack variables are included or added into the objective function with 0 coefficient. So the objective function becomes z equal to 6x1 plus 8x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. So finally the standard form of the LPP is maximize z equal to 6x1 plus 8x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2 subject to the constraints 5x1 plus 10x2 plus s1 equal to 60, 4x1 plus 4x2 plus s2 equal to 40. Non-negative restrictions x1, x2, s1 and s2 are greater than or equal to 0. Once converting the given LPP into the standard form, the next step is determination of the initial basic feasible solution. The initial basic feasible solution is determined by putting the values of decision variables 0. So after keeping the values of decision variables x1 and x2 equal to 0, the initial basic feasible solution will be s1 equal to 60, s2 equal to 40. So these values are obtained with the help of constraints, and the objective function value will be z equal to 0. So this is called initial basic feasible solution. This. Once the initial basic feasible solution is obtained, all the data is represented in the table. That table is known as simplex table. So this is the simplex table. In this table, Cj represents coefficients of the variables in the objective functions. Basic variables means the variables which are having the coefficient 1 in one of the constant and the coefficient 0 in the remaining constant. CBI represents the coefficients of basic variables. RHS represents the right hand sides of the constants. Theta is the ratio of RHS divided by key column values. So the term theta we will see later, or I will explain it later. The decision variables are written in these cells. So the decision variables x1, x2, the coefficient of a decision variable x1 is 6 in the objective function. Similarly, the coefficient of a decision variable x2 is 8, so this will be represented here. Next, the slack variable s1, the coefficient of the slack variable in the objective function is 0, so this will be represented here. The next slack variable s2, its coefficient in the objective function is 0. Here the variables s1 and s2 are having coefficient 1 in one of the constant and coefficient 0 in the remaining constant. For example, the variable s1 having coefficient 1 in the first constant and coefficient 0 in the second constant, and the coefficient and the slack variable s2 having coefficient 1 in the second constant and coefficient 0 in the first constraint. So the variables s1 and s2 will be entered into the basis initially. So variable s1 entered into the basis, its coefficient is 0. The next variable entered into the basis is s2, its coefficient is 0. In these rows, the coefficients of decision and slack variables with the help of these constraints are written. In these rows, the coefficients of decision and slack variables of the first constraint are written. So in the first constraint, the coefficient of x1 is 5, so this is written here. The coefficient of x2 is 10, this is represented here. The coefficient of s1 is 1, and the coefficient of s2 is 0. RHS of the constant 1 is 60. In the second constraint, the coefficient of x1 is 4, so this will be represented in these rows. The coefficient of x2 is 4, the coefficient of s1 is 0, and the coefficient of s2 is 1. RHS of the second constant is 40. So once the representation of all the data in the simplex table is done, the next task is calculations of the values of ZJ. So ZJ are calculated by the formula summation of CBI into AIJ. CBI represents the coefficients of basic variables multiplied by AIJ, which represents these values. Okay, so the Z1 will be obtained like this: 5 into 0 plus 4 into 0, 0. Z2 will be 10 into 0 plus 4 into 0. So similarly, the remaining values of Z will be 0, 0. all values will be 0 because the coefficients of the basic variables are 0. Finally, the value of z for the RHS will be 0. After doing the calculations of Zj, next the Cj minus Zj calculations are done. So for the column 1, Cj minus Zj will be 6 minus 0 equal to 6, 8 minus 0 equal to 8, 0 minus 0, 0, 0 minus 0, 0. Once the Cj minus Zj values are calculated, the optimality condition is checked, or the optimality of the simplex optimality of the given LPP is checked. The optimality condition for the LPP is here. For the maximization problem, if all Cj minus Zj are less than or equal to 0, then optimality is reached. If all Cj minus Zj are not equal to are not less than or equal to 0, then the optimality is not reached and we have to go in that case for the iteration 1. So for the given LPP, the values of Cj minus Zj are 6, 8, 0, 0. So that means all Cj minus Zj are not equal to 0. So that means we need to go for the iteration 1. So in the iteration 1, the new variable is entered into the basis out of S1 and S2. So out of S1 and S2, one has to left from the basis. So the entry of the new variable into the basis and at the same time leaving of the previous variable from the basis will be done by the procedure which I am going to explain here, or which I am explaining here. First, the maximum positive value of Cj minus Zj is selected. So here out of the value 6, 8, 0, 0, 8 is the maximum value which is selected. So this arrow represents the value, maximum positive value we have selected. The column corresponding to maximum positive value of Cj minus Zj, so this column is called key column. Once the key column is selected, the values of theta are calculated. The formula for the theta is RHS for the ith row. There are two rows, row 1 and row 2. So for example, row 1, RHS of row 1 60 divided by key column value of row I, that means row 1. So 60 divided by 10, that is equal to 6. Similarly, the value of the theta for this row will be 40 divided by 4, that is equal to 10. So once the values of theta are calculated, the minimum value of theta is selected. So this will be, or this is represented by this arrow. The row corresponding to this minimum value is called key row. The element which is common between the key column and key row is called key element. So 10 is the key element here. Now once the key column and key row are selected, here we have to remember that the variable corresponding to key column is the new entering variable into the basis, and the variable corresponding to key row, that is S1, will leave from the basis. So for the iteration 1, the new variable which is going to enter into the basis will be x2, at the place of previous variable s1. So instead of s1, x2 will be entered into the basis in the iteration 1. So let's start the iteration 1. s2 we will keep as it is with its coefficient 0. Now the new entering variable is x2, its coefficient is 8. Now the values of these cells are obtained like this. Here the variables which are entered into the basis, the matrix formed by this variable, we must have to obtain that matrix as a square matrix. That means we need to obtain the values here 1 0 1 0. So these values are obtained by performing these two operations. For the row 1, this operation will be performed. Row 1 new, these values are obtained by performing this operation. Row 1 old divided by key element. So the key element is here 10. So for example, this value will be obtained like this. Row 1 old, that is 5, divided by key element 10. So 5 divided by 10, it is 1 by 2. Similarly, 10 divided by 10, it will be obtained 1. 1 divided by 10, it will be 1 by 10. 0 upon 0, it is 0 upon 10, it is 0. 60 upon 10, it is 6. The values of row 2 will be obtained by performing this operation. This operation we have to perform because we have to obtain here the value 0 and here 1. So this will be obtained by performing this operation. So the operation is row 2 new equal to row 2 old minus row 1 new multiplied by the multiplying factor 4. This will be the multiplying factor. So row 2 old 4 minus row 1 new 1 multiplied by 4. So 1 into 4, it is 4. So 4 minus 4 will be 0. So in this way, by performing this operation, the values of row 2 will be obtained, and these values are 2 minus 2 by 5, 1 and 16. Once the values of these cells or these rows are obtained, next the values of Zj are calculated by performing or by using the same formula which we have used in the previous iteration. So this will be obtained by performing the calculations, like in the first column 1 by 2 into 8 plus 2 into 0, so it will be 4. Next 1 into 8 plus 0 into 0, so this will be 8. Similarly, here the value 4 upon 5 will be obtained. Here the value 0 will be obtained, and the RHS Zj for the RHS will be 48. So here we can say that the value of objective function we have improved from 0 to 48 in the iteration 1. Once the values of Zj are calculated, next the values of Cj minus Zj are calculated. So 6 minus 4, it is 2. 8 minus 8, it is 0. 0 minus 4 by 5, it is minus. So this is not 0. 0 minus 4 by 5, so this will be minus 4 by 5. So let me take red color. So minus 4 by 5. Next 0 minus 0 will be equal to 0. So once the values of Cj minus Zj are calculated, again the optimality condition is checked. So optimality condition is all the Cj minus Zj must have to be less than or equal to 0. So here if we see the values of Cj minus Zj, except this value, all the values are either 0 or minus. So that means the optimality is not reached yet. So that means we need to go for the iteration 2, for the next iteration. So again the values of, or again the variables which are entering into the basis and the variable which is entering into the basis and the variable which is leaving from the basis are need to be determined by performing the same procedure that we have done in the previous iteration. So maximum positive value of the Cj minus Zj is selected. So this value is 2. The corresponding column will be the new key column. Next, the values of theta will be calculated by performing by using the same formula. So that means RHS divided by this value. So 6 upon 1 by 2, so that will be equal to 12. Next 16 upon 2, that will be equal to 16 upon 2, that will be equal to 8. So let me correct here, 16 upon 2, so that will be equal to 8. Okay. Once the values of theta are calculated, select the minimum value among this value. So 8 is the minimum value. The row corresponding to this value is the new key row and 2 will be the key element. So from this we can say that x1 will be the new entering variable and s2 will leave from the basis. So instead of, or x2 will be placed, or x2 will be replaced by the variable s2. Sorry, s2 will be replaced by the decision variable x2 for the iteration 2. So let's move towards the iteration 2. Iteration 2. The new variable which is entered into the basis is x1, whose coefficient is 6. x2 already it is entered into the basis, which will remain as it is. Its coefficient is 8. The values of these rows are calculated in such a way that the matrix formed by the basic variable, that must be a square matrix. So the square matrix will be like this: 0 1 1 0. So the value 1 here will be obtained by performing this operation: row to new equal to row to old, that is 2 divided by key element So the key element was 2. So 2 upon 2, that will be equal to 1. So by performing the same operation for these cells, the values will be obtained. Minus 1 by 5, 1 by 2 and 8. The values of row 1 will be obtained by performing this operation. Row 1 new equal to row 1 old minus row 2 new multiplied by 1 by 2. So 1 by 2, this one is the multiplying factor. So if we perform this operation, we will be able to obtain 0 here. Okay, so by performing this operation for the other cell, the values will be 1, 1 by 5, minus 1 by 4 and 2. Okay, next the values of ZZ will be calculated. So 0 into 8 plus 1 into 6, so that will be equal to 6. 1 into 8 plus 0 into 6 equal to 8. Similarly 2 by 5 here, 1 and 64. Once the values of ZZ are calculated, or before that, here the value of objective function we have improved from 48 to 64. Next, calculate Cj minus Zj. For the first column it will be 0, for the second column it will be 0, for the third column it will be minus 2 by 5, for the fourth column it will be minus 1. So here all the values of Cj minus Zj are either 0 or minus. So that means the optimality is reached and the solution is x1 equal to 8, x2 equal to 2, x1 equal to 8, x2 equal to 2 and Z maximum is 64. So in this way, the simplex, by using the simplex method, the LPP, the solution of the LPP can be obtained. Thank you.